So, Gamer Legion A, Taro, Jordan, and Nili versus Bad Boy and Song Song. Viper is not playing for health reasons, so we will have Hidden Treasures and Rock Slide. Hidden Treasures is a map that T-West loves and a map that Gamer Legion loves. They will go for that one. Cape of Storms, Atacama, two very open map for Bad Boy and Song Song. So they want to play this one aggressively, they have to play this one aggressively, because Gamer Legion looked pretty strong, but Bad Boy and Song Song are so far the biggest overachievers of the entire tournament, so they had to qualify to the event. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there is a few teams in the quarterfinals that actually had to qualify. If I check it out, MBL and Nikov, Hera and Leary were invited. Gamer Legion teams were invited, Heresy as well, White Wolf Palace too. The only team, in fact, that actually got to the quarterfinals from the qualifiers was Vietnam Strategy B over here. My Insanity got close to passing the group stage. Rulers of Rome had some moments, but really, so far, the team that really is coming out of the qualifiers and still playing in the event in the quarterfinals is Vietnam Strategy B. Bad Boy and Song Song, both really powerful Empire Wars. Let's see what they can do against Jordan, Taro, and Nili over here. Let's jump straight into the first game over here. So welcome to Empire Wars Duo 2. Quarterfinals over here. This is going to be Bad Boy and Song Song down south, 8 Chinese in blue and Franks in green, versus Khmer for Jordan in yellow and the Mayans for Taro in red. This is a matchup where I probably prefer the Khmer and Mayans lineup over here. Chinese is a nice civilization, but I think that Mayans are just better in every possible aspect of the game as an archer civ. Whereas on the other side, Franks versus Khmer, obviously, in a late game, when it comes to pod-ins, the Franks will thrive, but usually the games don't last until pod-in, so it's more than possible that the superior Khmer eco could help, and that's probably the first villager going down here from Song Song. I struggle to see him keeping that villager alive, tries to quick wall, but that's not gonna happen. The first villager from Song Song goes down as he was trying to wall. Meanwhile, Scout here from Bad Boy trying to retaliate at the base of Taro. Looks like Nili is not playing in this game, as Jordan going for the stable with Scouts, goes for some walls, but obviously with Khmer he doesn't need an awful lot at the beginning. He just needs to make sure that he jumps into houses whenever danger is coming, and that villager once again is very exposed. Let's see if Jordan is going to be able to pick it off. It's very possible that they will. Nope, the villager goes back, and safety is going to be here for this villager. So for now, Song Song is somewhat open. His gold mine is very much exposed, so he's gonna have to make a defensive tower over here. And it's worth mentioning that all of his minerals are on the right side, clustered together. So if he loses this part of his base, he doesn't have any backup resources, as Jordan is trying to come back and maybe get another villager pick here. The lowest HP villager might be easier to pick off here right now, but Song Song definitely has a hard time to finish off those walls. Also loses a scout to the spearman over here, so Jordan has to be happy with the damage that he has done. Goes for horse color pretty late. He already has 11 farms and has just now grabbed the horse color, so most of those farms won't benefit from that. Meanwhile, we are gonna have scouts coming in from Jordan, trying to push the gold eco here for Song Song. And so far, this has been a pretty passive fuel age, to be honest, especially from the archer players. Neither of them really moved out up until now. Taro marching forward with his archers. For now, Bad Boy is massing archers back at home. So I did mention that the Vietnamese team is sort of supposed to be a very aggressive team, and that aggressive playstyle has managed to surprise a lot of opponents. Most recently, they defeated ACCM and Bhakti, so they took down one of the bigger opponents of this tournament. As, speaking of aggressiveness, that could show now, as Jordan is just finishing those walls. Nice containment walls behind this one. as we are gonna have 4 walls up for Jordan. He can also jump into the house and jump out on the other side of the villager to get them inside. It's going to be a tough defense here for Jordan, but he should be able to pull this one off. Some more scouts are coming in. Jordan actually selling his stone to go up, so does Taro. That is so uncharacteristic of GL. They usually just go for a much more eco-heavy approach, multiple TCs. Looks like they know exactly that they're up against some very aggressive opponents and they want to match that aggressiveness. Both players selling their stone to go up, and that also means that they're beating Bad Boy and Song Song into Castle Age by a quite enormous margin, to be honest. So, for now, Jordan should be able to hold this position. As I said, it's not going to be an easy defense, but he's still going to be able to pull this one off. And behind this one, they're actually able to potentially even destroy this stable. It's going to take some time, but you see Song Song had to buy some stone and make another defensive tower over here to prevent that one from happening. The archers would have denied the repairs, so Taro and Jordan just wanted to take that stable down. And now with Castle Age coming in, Bloodlines on the way for Jordan as well. They will probably just try to take this fight as it is, and I think they might even go for a surround, like have these archers come from the left and these from the right, get the crossbow upgrade and clean this army up here. Or alternatively, you could just use the scouts with bloodlines to do that and march forward with the archers. Second stable just now on the way for Taro. Other side, we do have Bad Boy, fully walled. He's got a nice backup gold mine over here that he may or may have not scouted, and he didn't scout that gold mine. If he loses control over this one, that could actually be very useful. Now, looks like Song Song and Bad Boy are inside the base of Taro over here. The scouts here don't have scale barding yet for Song Song, and you see that when crossbowman hits, this should be a very, very easy cleanup over here. Third stable for Jordan, obviously. He's playing 1 TC here for a while, so might as well go for triple stable. Knights even queues up Light Calf, so he made a couple of scouts. Feels like Light Calf could actually be a nice additional force. Bad Boy took a pretty decent fight here, took down 3 archers for a price of 1 before the crossbow upgrade came in for Taro. 17 seconds away from Castle Age is Bad Boy, and look at this. Song Song comes in with the scouts. At this point, trading those scouts to a couple of crossbowmen and just making sure that these archers stay alive is actually pretty important. Archers coming in here for Bad Boy towards Taro's base. They could hit that perfect timing on the wood line with crossbow and Botkin arrow in. Second TC immediately on the way for Bad Boy, as he's going to play with University as well. And we are going to have triple stable knights for Song Song. As things stand, we have 22 crossbows versus 22 archers, and I really love this group of archers here. When there's some sort of fight starting to happen, you gotta send these crossbows into the back of Taro's wood line, because Taro will be focusing on the fight over here. And that means that he might not notice his wood line getting pushed. Exactly, that's what's happening. 2 villagers go down over here from Song Song, though, make it free, as Taro or the others have ballistics, and he's got Thumbering coming in as well. That's just a little bit too early from Bad Boy because it doesn't have ballistics, so he won't be able to kill any villagers. At this point, I feel like Taro with the Thumbering should be able to win this fight over here, and Taro brings in the crossbows. Same thing, distract the opponent with a fight, and bring in the crossbows to the back of his base. So far, Taro and Jordan combined for 5 villager kills and have lost none. Very, very nice start for Gamer Legion. In this one, that's another dead villager here for our blue player. Now, truth being told, it looks like Taro isn't noticing that those crossbows are still there, so Taro is gonna have one of his wood lines denied over here, sends a couple of crossbows to clean this one up, so he should be all good to go now. Kill advantage is on the side of Bad Boy here, but doesn't have Thumbring in exchange. Night numbers, slightly better for Song Song, but there is a bunch of Light Cav as well remaining for Jordan. And it's 30 crossbows versus 26. And this is where I think Mayan's playing 1 TC is perfectly fine here. You have only 5 on food though, which is a little too few for Taro. With 10 farms, plus 4 range archers with Mayans, you should be able to hit Imperial at like 65 or so villagers. That's a possibility to do here. We're gonna have a second TC for Song Song. Song Song and Bad Boy are playing much more eco-heavy game than Jordan and Taro, though that doesn't really show right now, because obviously... Oop. Here come the Knights. They are getting surrounded by Gamer Legion forces here. Crossbows, on the other hand, moving in here from Bad Boy, and if Taro doesn't notice this, he's gonna lose a lot of villagers on his gold. Make it 3, 4, 5 villagers lost on the gold, and Taro is off from gold. That hurts really badly for him. 37 crossbows versus 33. Villager counts are now dead even, but that was a good raid there from Bad Boy. Let's see if they can intercept. There's 2 straggler crossbows there. You could have kept 1 knight in to just clean those up. 2 crossbows are 2 crossbows. Killing 2 is definitely something that helps a little bit. So now Taro and Jordan are moving in towards the base of Songsong. I think they want to jump this TC. They clearly do want to do that. I think this is enough for GL here. There is enough crossbows here to just pick off the crossbows from our blue player, although it doesn't seem like GL is gonna commit to this one just yet, which buys some time for reinforcements to arrive here. Jordan potentially getting a good surround here, kill advantage on the side of those crossbows though, as the Knights arrive, and they could easily surround Taro's crossbows here, and there would be little chance to escape with that TC around there. Reinforcements are also much easier trickled in here by Songsong. So GL has to be very careful about this one, because they could easily end up losing their entire army here. On the other hand, now Songsong is off from his primary gold, so there is definitely some positives here for Gamer Legion, and Taro has another big group of crossbows coming across the map over here. I kind of feel like GL might be running into a trap here though, because here they're gonna be up against a hill, like an enormous hill that spans all the way to the edge of the map, and I just don't see GL being able to push up here. Meanwhile, in the middle, we have Taro's reinforcements intercepted, but really, it's just picking apart the crossbows of Bad Boy. Bad Boy is on triple ranges, Taro is on 4, but in exchange, as I said, this is actually a very, very good fight for Bad Boy and Songsong. Taro's crossbows all going down the drain here. The best they can do is try to focus down the crossbows of Bad Boy, but that didn't really happen. Crossbows now moving in, though, to the base of Bad Boy. He's gonna have to make a defensive siege workshop to make this happen. Jordan also has some knights coming in to try and take this TC down. Songsong needs to unpop his villagers, get some repairs in, then jump back inside, and he should be able to hold this position as the knights come in to relieve. Crossbow numbers are still better for Bad Boy. Actually, Bad Boy has better crossbow numbers, and look at his imp resources. He's about to click into Imperial. I think if Bad Boy can keep his archer group alive, it's more than possible that they could snowball this game with Arbalest, because Taro is not far away from Imperial himself, but he's gonna be like 30-40 seconds behind. Still, cheaper mine crossbows helps quite a bit. Taro going for range number 6, and this is the problem here for Bad Boy. He never really added more ranges than the initial 3. So I think nowadays in Empire Wars 2v2, you gotta go for a huge amount of production. Taro is pumping out crossbows like a madman, 6 range worth of production, and that means that he's slowly outnumbering Bad Boy. And what's worse for Bad Boy is that he could easily lose his crossbow group here before Imperial Age. So he needs to be really careful. Trading off crossbows right now is not good for him, because first of all, Taro has Thumbring and he does not. But more importantly, he wants to beat Taro to Imperial. He's got a 1 minute 15 seconds advantage here to Imp. So at this point, it's all about preserving those numbers. A couple of crossbows come in here to try and get some villager picks. But yeah, there is a need for way more production here from Bad Boy. So, Imperial Age 1 minute away, but I'm not sure if the Vietnamese team can actually hold off a fight here for long. Like you see, Taro is thinking about committing against the hill. You might want to retreat to the TC, because that would buy you some safety. Monk trying to get a conversion here, not sure what to think about that. As 40 seconds remain between Bad Boy and Imperial Age. I'm still unsure if he has Thumbring, and okay, that Cav Archer must be a misclick. Okay, he just cancelled it. I feel like he shouldn't have cancelled it at 70%. Just let it finish and have one Cav Archer gallop with it into this corner and just deny a trade later on. For a moment, I thought he will switch to Chinese Cav Archers, which would have been awkward. Meanwhile, Jordan, he's not messing around. He doesn't need mobility. He wants to go full brute force elephants. And the thing is that if Bad Boy gets Bracer and Arbalest, he should be able to pick apart those elephants, pick apart those knights. And the mobility would be on the side of Song Song, and he could just run into the base of Jordan and devastate it. Jordan already has weaker eco than Song Song, and here they come. And they are gonna jump that TC. I don't like the elephant's choice here. And you see that Jordan now has to retreat. Some of his army is extremely slow here. Chemistry coming in faster than Arbalest though for Bad Boy, somewhat surprisingly, as Jordan is gonna lose an awful lot here. He's already at 63 villagers. Imperial Age is in for Taro, but that's the only positive I can say for Gamer Legion right now. Although, as I said, because Bad Boy delayed his Arbalest upgrade, I kind of feel like that was a mistake. And I think it's also a mistake that these crossbows are pushing here. The knights should go for a raid, and the crossbows should have actually fallen back here for defense. Right now, Vietnam has a 50 villagers lead almost, and now the knights are running straight into Jordan's base. Jordan could easily lose his second TC here, making him completely TC-less. He's already doing a mass migration. Now the knights are coming in to take the fight against Song Song though, so it very much could be a trade of cavalry players at this point, because as much as Jordan doesn't have the tools to stop this, Song Song doesn't have the tools to stop this one as well. The best they can hope for is that they take down the knights, so Jordan can't chase the villagers. Look at this, Jordan's just jumping into houses. They need to switch focus now though. Song Song needs to go towards Taro's base. If he gets into Taro's base, then GL is in trouble here, because the art numbers are still dead even, but the cavalry player for GL is dead, whereas on the other side, it's far from being dead. Song Song did lose a bit of a ground here, but he's got defensive towers to hold off the Arbs. He still has 65 villagers, and he's producing knights on 4 stables. And now, the cavalry is heading towards Taro's base, and Taro has 0 defense back at home either. I feel like with the heal advantage now with Ring Archer armor, as opposed to just +1 defense for Taro, the Arbs of Bad Boy can actually contain the Arbs of Taro. And look at this! Song Song forward TC to take the gold mine of his enemy over here. I don't like that the Knights are going for the TC here, because there's Arbs, so the Arbs can actually pick them apart. They should just use their mobility, go for the raids over here. Jordan's at 37 villagers. And now, the Knights will take a fight against the Knights. This is a good fight for Vietnam, because the Arbs are not helping, and on the other side, Taro has 44 Arbs against 39 over here, but as I said, there is no armor on Taro's Arbs, so that's probably a better fight here for Vietnam. And now, Knights are breaking in, Taro's gonna go for the quick walls. That's going to happen, but it's going to be really hard to keep all those quick walls alive against that many Knights. And Taro is gonna get raided really hard. Jordan's army has disappeared entirely, so Vietnam's strategy now has the army lead, and with no cavalry from Jordan at all, elite skirms are being teched into by our blue player, which I think makes some sense, although Taro could technically go into Eagles, and the raids didn't really work out on Taro's base, yet Taro is losing numbers really heavily. Double the army now for Vietnam's strategy B here, and you see why Bad Boy and Song Song are such a dangerous opponent. They don't seem like they are the toughest opponent to beat here, and they definitely are the underdogs in whatever matchup they go into, but they have been playing this tournament ever since the qualifiers, and boy oh boy, they are playing well. 50 villagers advantage now for them, and double the army as well. I think the only thing that they need is Song Song to get into Imperial, but if Taro loses all those Arbs on the left side as well, then I just don't see this one being turned around. Jordan's trying to reboom as much as possible, but he's 2 TCs, 40 villagers, and he's gonna get all his gold mined here by his opponent, which gives a lot of time for Song Song. And with that, Gamer Legion A loses game number 1 over here against Bad Boy and Song Song. Boy oh boy, are they strong here. And really, the key thing was that they just managed to run into Jordan's base and destroy it, and GL never committed. I think GL could have thought about committing against the base of Bad Boy as well, run in and destroy it. Vietnam's strategy is a very aggressive team, so they won't hesitate to go for a big push and just commit to it. Whereas for GL, they try to play this one a little bit slower, think through if that's actually worth it for them to dive in. They decide, okay, it's not really worth it for us to risk our entire army, but, well, guess what? Their opponents have been a little bit more aggressive, took bigger gambles, I would say, and ended up winning the game over here. So, bit of a surprise in the making so far. We will have a game advantage here for Bad Boy and Song Song. So, looking at the home maps remaining for Game of Legion, we have two slow-paced maps over here. Rockslide is a map that Bad Boy and Song Song actually like, but they're somewhat predictable on it. They usually do Hoang-style pushes, and considering that, you know, on Rockslide you can sort of separate the two players, I can see Gamer Legion just winning because they have two individually more skilled players. Hidden Treasure is a more interesting one. And, well, what I want to check out is Saracens, because that's something that I discussed with Hellas in the previous sets. Vietnam Strategy has Cape of Storms as one of their home maps, and you see Taro and his team is banning Saracens. Taro loves Saracens himself, but he didn't want to play against it, and the reason why is because Bad Boy and Song Song pioneered the Saracen build on Cape of Storms that was Saracen market usage into instant double stable scouts with the upgrades, and it works really well, so they wanted to take that away from Bad Boy and Song Song. Nonetheless, now all Bad Boy and Song Song have to do is win their own home maps, which sounds easy, it's actually not, but the key thing is that, you know, you always assume that you're going to have better chances on your own home maps than you have on the opponent's home maps. So it's a good sign that you only have to win your own home maps and don't have to take away a home map from the opponent. And it looks like Jordan is going to sit down on the bench here for a moment because the one and only Hippo is going to hit the field. Nili joins the party as the player for Game of Legion that really is the number one player on Hidden Treasures. Welcome to Hidden Treasures. Over here we'll have Mongols for Taro as yellow. We'll probably flip the colors for the sake of simplicity. So Nili is going to be playing yellow Spanish on the right side, and on the left side Mongols for Taro in red. Other side, we'll have Indians for Bad Boy in blue and Koreans for Song Song in green. I love the combination of Spanish and Mongols here. Mongols are really good late game civilization. You have the extra boards here in the corners as well. Spanish with the Spanish trait could be extremely powerful as well. And we have seen Game of Legion establishing trade pretty early despite the fact that they have these hills, because you could get pushed off from the hills very easily. You only start with a couple of tiles of gold, so you gotta go for that. Now it looks like we'll have early walls coming in here for Gamer Legion, already stone walls in the middle. Seems like we will have a couple of archers coming in from Song Song, so they want to do some aggressive opening here, but they shouldn't really be able to, so it's very unlikely that they can actually get into the base of GL. GL goes for full stone walls here. Obviously, Spanish builders help Nili as well on the right side, who has a very lucky map spawn over here, as this is a very narrow crossing in here. Meanwhile, Taro comes in here with a couple of Jaguars following his Spearman. I wonder if this is just a Spearman scouting, or he actually wants to bring that Spearman in and just go for a Wolf Rush, because it's possible. He could just delete that Spearman now and let the wolves fight the villagers. Is Taro gonna do that? Of course he will. Of course he will. Oh, Taro, you never change. That being said, that villager should be safe and the TC is gonna take it down, but we're gonna give some style points for Taro for that. Meanwhile, this is unexpected. A Korean tower rush here. I think that Vietnam has realized that their civilizations are not as good as the opponent's civs. Especially Koreans is something I kinda dislike. The Indians could work really nicely. Indians can eat the mango dye very nicely. They can deal with Paladins as well. So I can see in the camels in the long run working. But Koreans not so much. And yeah, this gotta be intentional. There is Nili. There is Nili with the Wolf Rush. He's going to bring in 5 Leopards as well. Oh, GL. Is there gonna be any villager kills here? Shouldn't really be possible, but this is definitely annoying. This is doing more damage than what it should, as There is no walls at all for Song Song on the right, and I kind of feel like their entire game plan here just fell apart. Like, they tried to go for Archer Scout opening, didn't work out. Then you tried to go for Tower Rush, didn't really work out, and now you're gonna scramble for walls. Taro actually ends up... What did he do with his stone? Oh, he just built stone walls, okay. So, all the leopards go down, no one actually hurt. Meanwhile, this is why Taro is picking Mongol, is one of the reasons why. It's a great late game civilization, but it's also a great civilization for the hunt over here in the corners. Nili is also taking the hunt himself, although I would love to see Nili just giving it to Taro, because Taro would benefit more from it. Nonetheless, the hunt being taken is something that is going to give an advantage for GL here, and I kind of feel like GL is just much more well prepared for this map. I really feel like Bad Boy and Song Song are a little bit puzzled on what to do on this one. No intention to go for the boars in the corners. Right side is completely unwalled, and I think Nili is very much likely to go for a TC here on this hill, maybe even forward siege workshop. It's a little bit puzzling to me that the Vietnamese team have walled up the middle now, walled up the left side, but the right side is just wide open. That being said, that's 5 scouts for Bad Boy, and Nili is running straight towards them. Is Nili going for a sneak? Wait a second. Nili might be going for a sneak in the corner. This is going to be huge. Is Bad Boy gonna find that? I think Bad Boy may have seen the villagers with the spearman because he's definitely looking for them. I'm fairly certain he saw them with the spearman before, because the villagers do get intercepted. Nili just wanted to go sneak into this little corner over there and just be annoying, deny the trade, but that's not gonna happen. And now, it is Song Song who is coming up with what could be a castle drop. He's mining stone like there is no tomorrow, and he's going to just stonewall here for time being, adding 2 TCs. Taro on the way towards Castle H. He doesn't have stone to make TC, so he was gonna have to buy it. Second TC on the way for Bad Boy. As I said, these boars would help immensely, and I'm starting to wonder if the Vietnamese team even knows about that. Stone walls are up. And where is the castle coming at? Oh, classic Taro. Like, when we designed this map, I was looking at these shells and said, okay, there has to be at least one player in Age of Empires that's gonna make demos here. And that's gonna be Taro. I sort of knew that Taro, if they ever play this map, he's gonna be the one that will make a dock and just go for a couple of demos to prevent the enemies from breaking through. Now, Indian camels, they actually have pretty decent building attack bonus, so GL has to be very careful here not to get overrun, because GL is just booming. Taro is actually making crossbows, so he knows exactly that they could be in trouble here. And if Song Song comes in with a castle drop, here comes the castle drop, but Taro has demos in. I feel like this could end up being very ugly here for the Vietnamese team. You know what's coming. You know exactly what's coming here. Nili will even spot the villagers, I believe, coming forward. Yeah, he sees it. He knows exactly that the villagers are coming. Smart idea from Song Song. He's marching all the way across here. They want to castle drop the middle and then just use the camels to break in. And the camels could snowball the game really fast because they have building attack bonus. Oh. Villagers now on the pond. Taro is even teching into War Galley. He wants not only demo rafts, he wants demo ships. Hold your breath, everybody. Hold your breath. Here come the demos. Villagers are splitting up. That's 2 villagers down, 3 villagers down. Is it enough? Nili's got a couple of knights here. There is a couple of crossbows, and the thing is that Song Song's crossbows are on the right, about to hit a big mangonel shot. This is not going up, and I really feel like this entire game was just an absolute mess for Bad Boy and Song Song. They really felt like they have absolutely no idea what they're doing on this map. All those archers getting cleaned up. In fact, he trapped his own archers with his walls. If those archers were here, it would be much easier for the Vietnamese to get this castle up, and now there is no escape here for the villagers. Either the crossbows kill them or the demo kills them. This demo is just chilling there on the shoreline. Absolute blunder from Vietnam here. I think they might as well just call this. They seem to be completely clueless on this map, I'm not gonna lie. They opened archers and scouts then decided to tower rush, immediately bailing out upon seeing the stone walls. Then these archers trying to bash through the walls alone, and then castle drop in the middle without archer support. This was just an absolute disaster for the Vietnamese team. At least they have free TC boom over here for Bad Boy, so his eco is still fine, but Nili is very much ahead compared to our green player Song Song. And there's a demo coming in here for Taro. Well, that was underwhelming. That was underwhelming. Second castle coming in here for Song Song. But what exactly are they gonna do here? They don't really have the eco. They're already behind by 25 villagers. GL has 4 TCs for Taro, 3 TCs as well for Nili. Boy, oh boy, is this game underwhelming from the Vietnamese team. It kind of felt like as if they didn't really prepare for this map, and I can somewhat understand it, because this map was played pretty rarely. So the thing is that in the qualifiers it wasn't played at all, and really the only team that was picking this map was Gamer Legion, both Gamer Legion A and B, but mostly Gamer Legion A. So they probably were like, okay, this map is not very frequently played, we better focus our preparation on the other maps. But guess what? Gamer Legion picked this map, and it very much seems like Bad Boy and Song Song don't really know what to do on this one. This was a strong map for Gamer Legion against Aftermath as well, Taro, and I think it was Nili at that time as well that defeated MBL and Nikov on this map. And to just add the further pain to the Vietnamese team, it's not like Song Song can even go for his own demos, as Taro's first castle comes in here, permanently denying this castle from Song Song, because Koreans don't have demos here. So basically, Koreans won't really be able to match up against the opponent's demos here. The Indian player could do something, but that's not much. Now, truth being told, one of the units that could deal with Mangadai here quite nicely would be Elephant Archers. So, in theory, Elephant Archers would actually be a decent matchup against the Mongols here, as long as Mongols don't bring in their archers. Right side castle coming in here for Nili. He's bashing his way through these walls. Imperial Age on the way for Nili. No one else is going into Imp right now. And I think for Bad Boy, Petards might be the name of the game now. He's got a castle here. There is some war wagons. There are some camels. Make 2 Petards, blast through the walls, and just run inside. And indeed, GL is already starting to trade, because they got the Spanish trade. It would have been even better with Spanish and Bohemians here, because then you would have the faster working market. Nili is stacking into Halberdier, seeing the camels coming in. On the right side, Song Song is about to be able to afford another castle on this hill, but Nili is gonna have trebs. Crossbows on the way. I don't think that they can actually do much damage here. Taro has enough crossbows to fight off these camels, so even if they blast through the walls, it's not going to be a situation, or it's not going to be enough. If the war wagons were here, maybe, but I just feel like Song Song and Bad Boy are trying to play aggressive, but they cannot. And behind this one, GL is booming away with a 25 villagers lead, plus a massive Imperial Age advantage for Nili here. And for Bad Boy, that's Imperial Age queued up behind that villager, so he is going to beat Taro to Imp. That's something that's worth monitoring. And Taro looks like he won't be able to go for Mangadai immediately. That's something that's that should be considered. Nili going for what will probably be Halberdier and Siege. Song Song sees the Mangonel now. He's gonna get pushed off from gold. Best thing he can do is make a castle here and just keep control over this hill for the time being. Some war wagons are being dispatched here, and Halberdiers won't perform particularly well against war wagons, but it depends mostly on the numbers. So Petards are ready to blast through the walls, as now the war wagons will push back Nili. 21 villagers advantage right now for Gamer Legion, plus Imperial Age coming in for Taro as well. Nili is already in Imp, whereas there is absolutely no Imperial Age for Song Song yet. But Nili doesn't have a big army here, so he can make trebs, but I don't think that he can take this castle down just yet, because he doesn't have the tools to fight the war wagons. And those war wagons, if they increase in numbers, that could be painful to deal with. Chain barding on the way for Bad Boy. as he is getting the camos all the way to the other side. So they will try to focus that one. I still believe it would have been better to just blast through here. But it looks like they might be thinking about a two-pronged attack. Camos coming in to try and take down the trap, but they don't have a great damage output, so that's not gonna happen that fast. And the petards, they're just waiting for the opportunity. Castle coming in here for Taro as well. That's his second castle. Keep in mind that Taro will need those castles for Mangadai production. Nili will probably do a castle drop here. This is something that Taro did against MBL in the previous rounds, but 3 villagers for a castle might be a little bit too ambitious, especially against Koreans that could get a defensive guard tower up over there. I think that at this point, you just focus down those villagers, and this should not go up here for Nili. He's pulling the boys. He learned it from Doubt. The trebs are being sniped by the camels, and I feel like the Warwagons just need to focus down the villagers here. Cap Dram in for Nili. Don't tell me Nili is getting this castle up. Don't tell me that he's getting it up. I just feel like this is a massive miss micro here for the Vietnamese team. I mean, they should have just used the War Wagons at this position and just kill the villagers. Why did that trap bother Song Song? It's a single trap, he could have repaired against it. I really dislike it in many ways. Overall, I just feel like this is a very underwhelming gameplay here from the Vietnamese team on this map. Because as aggressive as they are, this map really doesn't suit their style. Imperial Age going to be in for Song Song, and he's gonna go Elite Skirms, but behind this one, Game of Legion does have a bit of a trade. The thing is that now that Nili has access to gold, he can just switch into Paladins and steamroll this one. Many questions here. Many things that could have been done differently by the Vietnamese team, I believe. Still, Taro is unable to go for Mangadai, so he's just gonna play with the unconventional lineup of Arbalests here for the Mongols. Mongols have pretty decent Arbalests. They're missing the final armor upgrade, but they do have Tumbling. They obviously do have Chemistry, Bracer. So these are not amazing Arbalests, but they are fairly solid. Taro starting to run out of gold, though. This is what Vietnam could play for. Just sort of try to keep away GL from the gold, as Taro is about to lose a castle here, and looks like we'll have some Indian Light Cav being mixed in here for their extra Pierce Armor, although in Imperial Age that extra Pierce Armor doesn't actually show because they don't have the Plate Barding Armor upgrade, so it's just going to be standard Light Cav here. One Trab... I think 2 Trebs are enough for Taro to take this castle down. Unless that trap goes down here from Taro, from this volley, it's going to be a castle dead from Bad Boy. Indeed, just a little too late committing to this push, and the castle falls. Also, not really a great fight here by any means for Bad Boy. Right side, the War Wagons are still here in good numbers, and there's a lot of Elite Skirms immediately getting the 4 Pierce Armor as well. But Nili's taking into Cavalier. I feel like they're just one step ahead of Vietnam right now. Although, if we see Bad Boy with a huge amount of camos on the right side, that could still swing it back. But yeah, Nili is just outplaying Song Song here big time. Overall, GL is just outplaying the opponent very much in this one. All the War Wagons went down. I sort of disapprove the Skirmishers anyways. Now, Song Song is off from gold. They don't have any trade going for them. They just set it up, but it's going to take some time until it kicks in. And I'm also somewhat puzzled by all the Hussar for Bad Boy. They just let GL boom here. Tried to be aggressive, but it never really worked out. And now, GL has some trade established as well alongside the gold income that they have. Not an awful lot, but 23 trade cards is going to be pretty much an infinite gold source for you, pretty efficient as well. So even if you get pushed off from the gold, you have some gold income. And when those gates are broken through, Cavaliers, soon to be Paladins, will be coming in. And I already see the siege ram preparations from Taro. He will actually go Mangadai in the end, but for now he's playing Arbalests. And he's more than happy to do so, trying to dive in, snipe 2 traps in there. And yeah, the Indian Light Cav are just completely generic at this point. They do have an extra Pierce Armor compared to ordinary Light Cav in Castle Age, but not in Imperial. So these are 2+4 defense. That's the standard Plate Barding defense. And to me, it's a bit of a surprise that Bad Boy is going for full Light Cav. I think full heavy camel or imp camel could actually make more sense here for him. Eco better for Gamer Legion, as those light cav are sort of stuck in there. Some crossbows, orbs now in for Song Song. Song Song does have a huge amount of stone, which means that he could make a couple of towers to secure the position. And now that's a lot of Hussar. So maybe they can snipe the traps here from Nili and buy some time for the Vietnamese team, but I just don't feel like there's anything that's really going in the favor of the Vietnamese team. Drill for Taro for the siege rams, and also there is Paladin being teched into by Nili. There is the heavy camos, however, from Bad Boy, and you also have to consider that he could get Imp Camel. Looks like that cast isn't going up for Nili. We'll probably end up losing a couple of traps here as well. So, yeah, Imp Camel is the way to go here for the Indian player eventually, especially when Nili gets Paladin, but that's going to take quite a lot of time, and I see Ballistics being teched into... Is it gonna be Cav Archer from Bad Boy? What is he doing? He's definitely teching very heavily into an Archer line. Ballistics, Bracer already. Now defense upgrades. But he's not making any skirms, so I'm a little bit puzzled on what he is thinking. Unless it's Elephant Archers, but it's not. He's got multiple ranges here, not doing anything. Now Drill Siege Rams though pushing up this hill. There is Halberdiers here for Nili to support, so it should be enough. Is it enough to win this fight? It's enough to secure this hill here for Taro. He's gonna have the Arbalests, and I mean, heavy camels with 4 pierce armor, they don't fare well against Arbalests. Now those Siege Rams will just start rolling, and while the north is still sort of questionable, I just feel like the left side is going to collapse in the next 1 minute for Vietnam. And it's going to be a well-deserved win here for GL, because they have been outplaying Vietnam like light years. It was not even close when it comes to game plan execution in the first half of the game. So GL would definitely deserve a win over here. Although, as I said, the right side is still a bit of a question mark. Left side, however, those are just siege. Look at those siege rams. They just roll up, towers don't stop them, skirms don't stop them, and there is no units here that Indians have that really stop them here. They just smash those buildings one by one, and you see that it's not like Taro is taking efficient fights, but it doesn't matter, because he's just rolling forward. There's already Onager queued up, and as I said, in the next 1 minute, those Rams will steamroll everything here. I think we are in for a 1-1 scoreline. Right side, we got Siege Ram on the way as well for Nili knocking through the walls. The army numbers are actually better for the Vietnamese team, but it's mostly skirmishers, and they don't stop the Rams. They definitely won't stop the Onagers either, and with Drill, those Onagers can hit the field really fast. The only thing I could be different from Taro is that he could also try pushing the middle here if he wanted to, because that will also open up a new front line. Siege Ram is about to be in for Nili, and now that Bad Boy has to hold the left side with everything he's got, Nili can just steamroll the skirms with Paladins. And remember that currently, Bad Boy and Song Song has basically no gold income. They're trading a little bit, but that trade is there as well for GL, and GL has a lot of mineable gold, and GL has Spanish trade. So the only way that Bad Boy and Song Song stand a chance in this one is if they reclaim the gold hills here. The skirmishers are now coming over though, and Taro's gonna have to be careful with those arbs, because if he loses a lot of them, yes, they do have trade, and Taro has 37, so it's pretty decent trade numbers, but you still gotta be very careful not to lose a lot of expensive gold units here, because it could easily snowball the game. Onager now comes in with Drill, takes a big shot, as the Onager is still alive. Camels get absolutely torn apart by the orbs. Other side, skirmishers eating a huge Onager shot here, another huge Onager shot coming in here, just leveling the forces. And Taro is maybe even thinking about Onager cutting in here, and just sending in the Paladins. Indeed, here comes Taro with the Onager cut. The Siege Ram just chasing that pure trebuchet out there, as Taro is working towards that cut. Oh my goodness. GL is playing this one so much better in here, as I see Halberdier being teched into by Song Song. He doesn't even cut all the way around, just send the Paladins in. Now the Paladins will be chased down by the Camels, so I'm not sure how much damage they can do. And on the other side, we do have Trebs firing down hills on the stables of Nili. Taro has gold income. Nili has gold income over here. Same is applicable for the Vietnamese team. So currently this is, in theory, still an open game, but I just feel like the unit composition is so much better for Game of Legion. Siege Onager coming in here for Taro, and I see Party and Tactics. So eventually we will get to Mangadai, although you have to keep in mind that Arbalests actually perform better here against the Camos because the Camos don't have bonus damage against Arbs. Whereas Camos would have a bonus damage versus Mangadai. So, Hill is still in here. Siege Onager was actually cancelled here by Taro. That's interesting. And now we're seeing Taro coming up with Mangadai on the north. The north is a real problem. The south is more or less holding here for Vietnam, but the north is just still falling apart. And you see Taro's ping in red in the middle. He probably wants to go for a push through the middle. Onagers now coming in. Elite Mangadai as well. Traps shelling the castles. Defensive towers are trying to hold this one. And the Arbalest numbers for Song Song are pretty nice, but I just don't see them anywhere. Because most of them are over here on the left side. This is really dangerous here for Song Song. Shelling all those Arbs is Taro. Imagine if Taro had Siege Onager here. He just now clicked it again. Maybe he cancelled it accidentally. But the main problem that Vietnam is facing right now is that they don't have the numbers on the north to stop this push, despite the fact that they overall have the army numbers advantage. So this castle is falling over here for Song Song. More onagers are just soaring past, and there is still a huge amount of gold. A huge amount of gold here, and as I said, GL's army's got 20 paladins, increasing in Mangadai numbers, whereas on the other side it's mostly trash. 30 arbs would be very helpful here, but they are needed on the left side. And I just feel like at this point GL is more than happy to just sit back, because GL has the Spanish trade, so in theory, even if we run out of all the gold on those hills, we still have Spanish trade for GL and non-Spanish trade for the Vietnamese team here. Now onagers are coming in, and they're so close to the trade. If they reach that trade, I feel like that's a gold income loss that Vietnam might not be able to afford to let happen. Hobbit is getting absolutely shredded by that onager before it goes down, and I just don't see enough camos here for Bad Boy. He's now taking into Imp Camo, but in exchange Song Song's production is getting torn apart, and now the Elite Mangadai with all the upgrades, Siege Onagers, Paladins. This game is very much over. It was over ever since Song Song and Bad Boy tried the Tower Rush, and ever since they tried the failed castle drop. Game of Legion came into this game with a much better plan, and that shows. And well, this was a long game, so you might think it was fairly balanced. It really wasn't. It was just GL having the better civilizations coming into this game, and also GL using them way better. So Spanish and Mongols, two late game powerhouse civilizations are gone. Not sure what to think about the Koreans here. Maybe they wanted to go for like a castle drop war wagon play, but this map usually goes for late game in the very few instances that we have seen it played. So with that, hidden treasures taken by Gamer Legion over here. This means that we have an even scoreline, something that's pretty helpful right now for GL. Still, Vietnam has won the neutral map Arabia, so they just need to focus on winning their own home maps, as we will have the next game coming up on either Atacama or Cape of Storms. So, looking at the civilizations real quick, Atacama has it's tough for Vietnam strategy. Not sure what they're thinking. They have Slavs, Teutons, Huns, Malians here. Malians could be an idea because you could go for a dock. Same was applicable for Cape of Storms, but I think now that Saracens are gone, you probably just play Huns on Cape of Storms. You play Slavs on Rockslide as your budget Celts for a Knight and Siege push, which would leave Malians probably for Atacama, unless you want to play Teutons. Other side, I think Magyars will be the pick for Game of Legion for Cape of Storms. then probably... Although Persians could also be picked there, and Magyars for Atacama, that also works. So those two are interchangeable. But I don't think that Persians will be used here. I can see Magyars being used on Cape of Storms and Bulgarians on Atacama. That's a very nice combo. Cumans will be probably the flank civ on Cape of Storms. Portuguese could go to Atacama, and then they would be left with something like Burgundians or Malay for Rock Slide. I can see that working out. Let's jump straight into game number 3. We are gonna have Song Song and Bad Boy bringing us to Champ to Atacama. Jordan looks like he is back. I mean, he's back for real. And that means that we're gonna have to reset the scoreboard in here as we jump into game number 3. So welcome everybody to game number 3 in this best of 5. In between Game of Legion A, Taro and Jordan are back here. So Nili getting benched once again. So far, the game that Jordan has played, they lost. So Nili is... currently, Nili has a 100% win rate when he's playing in this series. Bulgarians for Jordan on left side in yellow, and we're gonna have Taro as red Malay. Whereas on the other side, Song Song is Slavs in green, a civ I don't really like for this map that much. I feel like there would have been better options. And Vietnamese for Bad Boy in blue. Bulgarians are probably much better than Slavs here early on. Later on, Slavs will love this matchup, because obviously the Slav farming eco is gonna kick in and you can just flood scouts like crazy. Whereas on the other side, Vietnamese versus Malay, I personally like Malay here a little bit better because of the power spikes and the way that you can snowball the game. But awkward civ selections on both sides. I think that the Cavalry Civilization is probably better for Game of Legion. Archer Civ depends on how the Malay use their power spikes, but in the long run, Vietnamese will be better. So, fast market here for Song Song. He did make a defensive tower, so selling stone is not really an option, and I'm a little bit puzzled about this market here. Why did Song Song make a market? That's awkward. It kind of feels like he wanted to sell his stone, but that's not gonna happen now, and he just made a market that is completely unnecessary, and he spent a bunch of wood on it. So now, it looks like Taro is going to lose... No, it's actually Jordan who is losing a couple of villagers here to the scouts. Other side, defensive tower coming in here for Song Song. He's actually making the market to buy stone. I see. I see. Look at this. Taro comes in, lames the Huntables, knows exactly that his opponent really wants to take it. And it makes some sense to buy yourself a second tower, because that could secure your gold mine or your hunt. And now, guess what? It's Jordan who is facing a lot of pressure here. That's going to be villager number 3 going down. He unpops all the scouts and he has +1/+1. So he could clean this up pretty easily. The question is, what's the price he's paying for this? Because he was really patient and I value that. But his patience was also punished by 6 villagers killed, and Taro only killed 1 from their opponents. So, sure enough, Jordan is going to clean this army up, but in exchange, Jordan's eco is now quite weak overall, so I kind of feel like I like the Vietnamese team's chances here a little bit better. Archer number is much better though for Taro, and now they are heading towards the base of Song Song. Song Song will need a defensive tower on that gold mine as well, for a change, because that tower is just protecting the hunt. He's mining stone now, so there will be a defensive tower eventually. Archers from Bad Boy once again marching towards Jordan's base. Only 1 spearman is scoring them, though. This is a mistake from Bad Boy. I think Bad Boy may not have seen that his opponent has all upgrades but bloodlines. If he saw that, he would never push with this. 1 spearman is insufficient to take down this many scouts, although that spearman has been alive for a long time, so it actually did more damage than what it was supposed to. But regardless, Jordan's got the army here to clean up the force of Bad Boy. Bad Boy needs a couple more spearmen really fast here. Indeed, some more spears are coming. Taro dives deep into the base of Song Song. Song Song is going to start losing vills. But here come the scouts, and he's gonna have the attack upgrade and defense upgrade in as well, easily intercepting Taro's archers here. So this could still go either way. as Taro is shifting focus towards the archer player of the opponent. Now, it's in the hands of Song Song to do some damage, and he could find these hunters for Taro. Jordan already lost a couple of villagers. In exchange, Bad Boy is going to have his wood line denied over here. Taro will try to isolate one villager and pick it off, and that should be at least one villager dead, potentially 2 or 3. But in exchange, Taro's gonna be retaliated here. 2 scouts went down to the spearman, but I think Taro is gonna lose 1 or 2 vills here without any problems. Now, on the other hand, this force is going to be cleaned up from Bad Boy, because Taro and Jordan have combined forces here, and they will just intercept those archers. This is a mistake here from the Vietnamese team, letting those archers alone, and I kind of feel like the team coordination of Taro and Jordan are just better here, and that allows them to just keep those archers alive. This is the problem here for Bad Boy and Song Song. They just keep losing those archer numbers. Now, truth being told, we have a very good rate coming from Song Song, so he's really using the scouts in a more aggressive manner. He's picking off villagers left and right. But in exchange, his teammate is losing his archers, and that's going to hurt when Taro reaches Castle Age with that melee power spike, and just goes for crossbowman, because there's gonna be no tools to stop crossbowman. Bad Boy is also going into castle himself. His gold mine is a little bit wacky here. But he's gonna be 1 minute behind, partially because he clicked up later, partially because he's not melee. And on the other side, Jordan is at 9 scouts, Song Song is at 6, only now goes for bloodlines. Jordan's scouts do have bloodlines already, so Jordan, I think, is ahead in that regard as well, which is, I think, a blunder from Song Song, because Song Song lost 2 villagers in feudal, Jordan lost 6. And Jordan is still able to keep pace economically as well. Part of that is the fishing eco on the left side, but also army-wise. So Jordan with that fishing eco is able to compensate for his early losses. And I kind of feel like I like Game Legion's position here a lot better now. Because now those crossbows are coming in. Another defensive tower for Song Song here that will probably go up, but will immediately be camped by the other archers. And now the scouts are moving in as well. So, left side, Bad Boy is planning a push on Jordan's eco though, and Jordan doesn't really have much to defend against with. One of the difference between the 2 players, or 2 cavalry players, is that Song Song has a couple of defensive towers here, which means that the crossbows can do a lot of damage. Compare that to here. Jordan's base is wide open for those crossbows to push, and that could be the problem that Game Legion faces. Song Song not buying massive amounts of food, and he's not making scouts, so he wants to get up to Castle Age. I feel like Song Song here should just go full feudal with the scouts. As, oh, disaster for Bad Boy. That's a disaster, and that could be a game-losing move. Doesn't matter how many vills he kills at Jordan's base, if he's just going to lose 9 villagers like that. That's just not what he wanted. And yeah, he's moving into Jordan's base now, but all the advantage that they could have had from this push on the left side is now gone. They need to find a way to kill a lot of villagers here from GL, because now they're behind by 6. Castle Age on the way for Song Song, which could help a little bit. But behind this one, Bad Boy is getting killed. This is why I think that full feudal is better here. Because you just gotta buy time for your archers player to mass his crossbowman. And I think that GL will just steamroll Bad Boy's eco here with the mass scouts of Jordan. Scouts from Song Song are coming in, but there is enough spearmen here to discourage this attack by Taro. And that's the difference. These guys are actually doing damage in here, idling a lot of villagers, whereas these guys are barely doing anything here, just slowly getting their HP taken down by those spearmen. Crossbow numbers are actually better for Jordan here by a tiny bit. Now, here's the deal. Jordan has ballistics as well, not something that Bad Boy does, and defensive towers. Now on the way for Jordan. Jordan wants to go for Castle Age himself, but as I said, the only thing I can see working out now for Vietnam is fast knights. The first couple of knights could be a really nice power spike here for Song Song. He's going to play triple stables, no surprise about that one. So triple stable knights might be able to make things happen, although if these scouts hit this wood line, once again villagers will go down from the Vietnamese team, and they already have a pretty considerable deficit, 10 villagers down, and I mean, Jordan won't hesitate to commit to this one. He's got 15 scouts. He's going to upgrade them to light cav. This is why going for like mass scouts is probably better, because you have a constant presence on the map, and you can just upgrade them to light cav later. Whereas if you go knights, you're gonna have to wait until you get to castle age. And free villagers here are likely to go down from our green player. Crossbows also getting cleaned up. Moving in is the group of crossbows here though from Bad Boys, so Jordan's gonna have to be careful here. He's not up to castle age yet, and his farming eco could get annihilated. So, right now Song Song is waiting for the knights to pop out. Still, GL has to be careful. If 10 knights find these crossbows, this could be a disaster for Taro. So far, those crossbows from Bad Boy did not find a lot of villagers to kill. So, damage contained very nicely here by Jordan as the tower also goes up. Still, no gold income for Jordan means no knights. He's gonna have to stay with light cap for a long time, and that's going to cause problems. For Jordan overall, his food eco isn't really great either, so Jordan's Castle Age cavalry production will be in jeopardy, as we'll have a siege workshop coming in from Song Song. He's mining stone as well, so I'm starting to wonder if he may add 2 or 3 more villagers on stone, and even think about a castle in the middle. That would be ambitious, as Jordan just runs past those crossbows over here. He will try to raid Bad Boy's base. What I would love to see is, as the knights now jump on Taro's wood line, what I would love to see is pikemen from either archer player, because that would prevent the scouts from running into their base. It wouldn't do a whole lot, as here comes some beautiful quick walls from Jordan here to save his lumberjacks from total annihilation. But pikemen would actually make sure that those scouts cannot really do that much for damage, or the knights on the other side. Just a couple of pikemen would probably make it easier to defend against these raids. There's a group of crossbows here from Taro as well that's now pushing the eco of Song Song. Song Song is probably waiting for a big group of knights to jump on them. Once again, beautiful quick walls from Jordan. Those quick walls are really coming in clutch here for him, because otherwise he would have lost a lot of bills. But now Jordan is trapped, and yes, he's got a defensive tower, but at this point Bad Boy must be very happy about picking off those villagers over there. And, well, now it's light cav upgrade in. They don't have +2 defense though for Jordan. Remember, he was off from gold, off from food for a long time, so he couldn't actually afford it. Which means that the towers, the crossbows here will actually take a pretty decent engagement and finish off most of those light cav. And now Jordan is completely off from food. He's got 4 food gatherers, all of those are fishing ships. Bad Boy as well has 4 on food, so that's the positive here for Gamer Legion, but Bad Boy has 14 knights and Jordan only has 3. And that's a massive difference here. So, sure enough, both cavalry players are off from food, as we will have villagers garrisoned inside rams. We don't have Hoang in this tournament, but you're gonna get what's the closest to Hoang here from Song Song. He's moving in, and if that TC goes down, things could get gradually worse and worse for Taro here. We'll have Mangano as well. So far, these crossbows have been completely ignored by Song Song, as Jordan gets +2 defense now. But Jordan still 9 light cap, 5 knights against 15 knights over here. Now the Manganos are also planning to take this engagement. Taro has a scary group of crossbows though. 53 crossbows here for Taro, only 25 for our blue player, and now with those light cap having +2 defense, they take a pretty decent engagement here. Not amazing fight for Jordan, but it's very good for what is basically left over from Feudal Age, cleaning up all those crossbows. And that means that we only have 23 crossbows for Bad Boy, and well, 55 for Taro. That is a massive group of crossbows. Still, on this map, mobility could be a massive factor, so the key thing now for Song Song is that he needs to raid the eco of Jordan, raid the eco of Taro, and you see that Taro had to do some mass migration to the left side, as Song Song is also planning to make a push here with Rams and Manganos, but he needs the cavalry support for that, otherwise villagers will just take down the battering rams. Mangonel is ready here. Taro needs to be careful because that Mangonel is just waiting for the opportunity to strike. 1 ram goes down pretty easily. Looks like they want to isolate this group of crossbows and jump on them. They might have enough to fight this 8 knights and 11 crossbows versus 21 crossbows. No one really realizes what's going on until Bad Boy initiates the fight. These are also Vietnamese crossbows, so they're slightly better. And indeed, they do clean this one up. Knights from Jordan now arriving to take down the siege here. as Jordan is now coming in with Knights as well. I feel like they just didn't raid enough here. Like, speaking of the Vietnamese team. Because Jordan was now able to recover. And now Jordan is the one initiating those raids. And, as I said, Vietnam had all the tools they needed to just raid. But no, they're trying to go for these, okay, mass rams, manganos. They wait too long here. You can't wait on this map. You're just gonna send in these knights and hit over here, for example. Even if you just idle the villagers or kill 2 or 3 of them, that's already worth it. That's what Jordan is doing here. Sends in the knights, kills 2 villagers on the gold mine, that's already value. It looks like Bad Boy wants to go for a castle, though. And speaking of a castle, that's what Song Song was waiting for. I was criticizing his patience here, or his slow approach, but it may actually pay off. It's gonna be 2 romantic castles, though. Lord, no, that's not going up. There is no way that goes up for Song Song. The crossbows are coming in here. Castles being raised against each other. That's not going up for Song Song. Another blunder with a castle drop for Song Song here. Oh my goodness. That is a doubt castle there, and that seals the deal. Vietnam strategy is completely collapsing. I feel like they just don't play their playstyle. They are much more aggressive in many games, and now they're playing sort of, okay, let's wait a little bit. Mass manganos, stuff like that. I don't like it. There is a castle up here on the left side, but now this castle from Taro is going to deny the wood income from Song Song. Looking at the army numbers, now it's way better for Game of Legion, and the petards are also coming in for Taro. He wants to damage that castle just to prevent it from going up, but it won't be needed. Game of Legion takes 2 in a row, and now they took away a home map from the opponent. They are starting to show why they are the invited team, and why Vietnam's strategy is only a team from the qualifiers. It's not over just yet, but I feel like now the experience of Game of Legion, and maybe even just the fact that attrition could start kicking in for the players and Game of Legion is more experienced in those, I feel like at this point, Game of Legion is controlling the game more and more. I think they had way better civs as well. Bulgarians is light years better than Slavs are. I don't really know what Slavs or why Slavs was picked over here. I just feel like that's a bad pick for the Vietnamese team. And yeah, better civilization choices for GL, and also just probably better execution as well. And with that, Game of Legion takes game number 3 here. Match point for them on Cape of Storms, a map that both players love. Or both teams love, to be more precise. And Saracens is gone for Vietnam Strategy B here. That was their favorite civilization for this map. I have no idea what they plan to do now here. They have Huns, that's their best option, but that's just meta. Huns and Malians are... Or no, it has to be Huns and Ethiopians, probably. And they have to play really aggressive. Whereas on the other side, it's probably going to be Magyars and Cumans, or Magyars and Portuguese. I actually like Magyars here a little bit better, because sure thing, you do have the faster producing stables for the Huns, but Magyars can afford to produce scouts much easier because they're cheaper, they get the free forging, so I kind of feel like I like Magyars more than Huns here. In the long run, Huns will be better, but early game, that's Magyars written all over the place. By the way, interesting that Vietnam Strategy B have banned Britons for the tournament. Not sure what to make out of that, because I mean, Britons could be a scary civilization on hidden treasures, but I feel like now that Magyars weren't banned, their Huns are not so good on this map over here. And indeed, Nili is back. Well, once again, okay, we're good with colors. This time it's Taro on the bench. So we have seen Jordan being benched in the favor of Nili. Now it's going to be Taro. Nili's playing with the Cuman's flank on the right side in red. Left side, Magyars for Jordan in yellow. And we will have Bad Boy as blue, Ethiopian flank, and Song Song as Huns in green. Going immediately for the hunt is Song Song, but in order to make that happen, you gotta have the military presence on the outside. So that's exactly what Song Song is going for. No elephant being brought in by him, Let's see if anyone is bringing the elephants. The elephants at the beginning can actually mean so much of an eco lead, and I don't see anyone doing that right now. Second range just now coming in here for Bad Boy, whereas for Nili, it's already 2 ranges. GL was the team that really pioneered the super fast Kuman opening on this map, and you see why. They already have the presence here, and I feel like Song Song is sending his scouts to the wrong spot. This map is very snowbally, you can't just let your teammate fight against 2 here. On the other hand, if they can pick off a couple of villagers from Nili, that might be sufficient retaliation. This is so edgy. I don't like this from Vietnam. I feel like they're in the danger of losing more than what they can gain with this. But so far, if we look at the villager KD, Song Song has killed 2 villagers, and Nili was not able to, neither was Taro. Vietnam now has a 2 villagers, well, they should have a 2 villagers lead, if it wasn't for the fishing eco of Jordan over here. But technically, Vietnam should have the advantage now in terms of villager numbers. They do have the hunt working for them, not something that GL is taking. Elephants not being touched by anyone until now. Here comes Bad Boy with the elephants. I like that quite a bit as well. No elephant for Nili or for Jordan here either. So, quick pause coming in now, beautiful from Bad Boy. But the scouts tempted to run past. Archers also moving in here to intercept. The next question now is when does Flash Bloodlines comes in for Song Song? Song Song has +1 attack, so his scouts are comparable to Jordan's one. Jordan already has +1 defense as well. I think the next step, as I said, for Song Song is Bloodlines here. He kind of needs that. Keep in mind that Bad Boy loses control over the berries, which doesn't seem like a big thing, but it actually is. It is a consistent source of food being denied, and that's going to set your food eco back a tiny bit, which could delay your castle age here as the archer player. Now with the +1 defense in, Jordan jumps on the archers of the opponent. Still, there is some spearmen out here that can help. Many of those scouts are battered, so I'm not sure if this was a good enough fight here for Gamer Legion. +1 defense on the way for Song Song. Song Song might actually find a couple of archers here to pick off. So far, this was a very even game. Now it is Nili moving out to take the hunt, so is Jordan. Still, the fighting takes place in the Vietnamese team's base, which actually favors Gamer Legion, because it is the Vietnamese that suffer from a bit of a deficit in eco-efficiency. But once there is +1/+1, the Vietnamese team take this fight, and they take down the entire army of Gamer Legion here, I believe. This is a massive win for Vietnam Strategy B here. There is more scouts coming in from Taro, as now those scouts are not even once again, because Bloodlines is in for Jordan. This is where Vietnam has to be very careful, because Bloodlines is the real power spike of the cavalry civilizations here. Bloodlines now on the way for Song Song as well, and from this point on it's going to be favoring the Huns, because you will have full upgrades for those scouts for both players, so it's only the production that matters. You are gonna have a slightly easier time sustaining the production. Third stable already coming in for Song Song. Look at how many scouts he's got queued up. He definitely needs that third stable here. 3 stables already in for Jordan. I would dare to say that Song Song might even need a 4th stable at this pace. Right now it's 10 scouts versus 7, archer numbers are dead even. Nili is going to be the first one to pick up into Castle Age, even selling his stone to do so. Bad Boy not far away from Castle Age either, but he is going to be a little bit behind. Will probably just buy himself some food, rushing up the market like a madman. Now, it's triple stables as well from the Hunnic player, although one of them is inactive as things stand. And now it looks like Jordan might try to go deep into the base of the Vietnamese team, but he's going to get intercepted by scouts here. He might pick off 1 or 2 villas, but I'm not so sure, and it looks like his army could get cleaned up without any losses. Villagers can help out, taking down those scouts, and this is actually a very good fight here for the Vietnamese team. They're cleaning up Taro's scouts, but there is more coming. Many of those scouts are weak here for Jordan though, and it looks like Gamer Legion is getting forced back over here. A lot of losses on both sides. Castle Age on the way for both flanks. Obviously, Ethiopian faster firing crossbows will help quite a bit here, but Nili is going to have a bit of a power spike here with Kumans. With Kumans, you don't want to play crossbows for long though, so this is where Ethiopians will be much better than Kumans in the end, because obviously Ethiopians love to play their archers, whereas Kumans not so much. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment here from Vietnam, desperately looking for a surround, but they are not really getting it. I don't like that commitment over there. In the end, most of the scouts go down. Archer numbers are dead even, and oh boy, this could be a disaster though for Nili. Maybe it was the right choice for Vietnam. They take down a couple of archers here from Nili, which would result in numbers of Nili dropping before Castle Age here. Song Song buying some food here, still going for the full feudal pressure. No one actually bothered to send the fire galley to the opponent's fishing eco, and it's something that is sad to see. Even just a single fire galley could do so much against the opponent's fishing ships, especially because the opponent is so focused on microing. Now Vietnam will have to retreat, but they have a lot of space to fall back to, so they are going to have the time to get the upgrades. And look at the resources. Huns are Huns, man. Song Song getting closer to clicking up to Castle Age, whereas for Jordan, he isn't. Now Jordan is going for 5 stable scouts instead, and this could easily allow Game-O-Legion to overrun Vietnam's strategy here. So this is now a risky situation for Song Song. He can't stop making scouts. He needs to keep adding scouts, play a little bit more defensive. For Bad Boy, a defensive tower on that gold mine would be very, very helpful, just for the sake of making sure the crossbows can't push him off from the gold mine. He's trying to save that stone, but what for? He needs a defensive tower. That would guarantee a bit of a safety on this gold mine. Ballistics on the way for Nili here. There's already ballistics on the way as well for Bad Boy. So that's going to be even timing, 17 versus 19 scouts. A 4th stable on the way for Song Song. So yeah, Jordan is on 5 and he's got cheaper scouts. But that's it. 4 stables for Huns can make it happen. And it looks like this is once again a gamble that Song Song is taking. He's heading all the way towards the left side. Looks like it's going to be Jordan chasing, but that is great. That is great for Song Song. Because as long as Jordan is chasing, that buys time for Song Song to get into Castle Age. And looks like Nili is trying to just prevent those scouts from running past. Beautifully executed so far. But Ethiopian crossbows now far better than Cuman ones. +1 defense on both sides. But there is going to be +2 defense for Bad Boy here. And I think now Song Song just wants to preserve those scout numbers, get the +2 defense light cav upgrade, and that should be enough. They still need to be careful not to get those crossbows cleaned up as Thumbring is coming in. +2 defense on the way with light cav. I think we're getting closer and closer to decider game, but that depends on this fight here for Game-O-Legion. Because they are close to cleaning up all those crossbows, obviously, with Ethiopian faster firing crossbows, no +2 defense on those scouts. This is not an amazing fight for Jordan. So, yeah, especially when Thumbring comes in, there is +2 defense on those crossbows as well, so they survive some punishment from Feudal Age scouts, and now the same surround is going to happen, but on the other side. And with those Ethiopian crossbows, you can now clean up the crossbows of Nili over here. Beautiful play here from Vietnam. Ecos are still that even, but suddenly the army numbers are heavily in the favor of the Vietnamese team. And boy oh boy, they are bringing this into a decider game. Jordan is still not in Castle Age, which means that from this point on he can't do much. When you are going for full feudal here, you gotta win the game before your opponent reaches Castle Age, otherwise Knights will just steamroll everything. Vietnam strategy B. Winning this game over here, and this is why Atacama hurts so badly for them. Because the thing is that, as I said, all they have to do is win their own home maps. They just did that with Huns and Ethiopians, whereas on the other side, Magyars and Cumans will be gone. I think the key in the end was that Ethiopian crossbows would just be so much better for this Castle Age push, but even in Feudal Age compared to the Cuman ones. And really, Song Song was able to breach through his time from Feudal to Castle Age very nicely. Jordan had a window there, but Song Song didn't stop producing scouts. He just kept on pumping them out, knowing that if he stops making scouts, he will be overrun by his opponent. And with that, Vietnam strategy B, ladies and gentlemen, is on the board. And regardless of what happens in the last game, we have to give a shout out to these guys. They're facing one of the strongest teams of the world. They are the only team from the qualifiers in the main event, or not the main event, but the quarterfinals of Empire Wars Duo here. And yeah, they definitely have a chance here to even upset Gamer Legion now. It's still an uphill battle because now we're going to Gamer Legion's home map, and Gamer Legion is known to prepare really well on their own respective home map, which is Rock Slide. On the other hand, we have seen Song Song and Bad Boy playing decently on Rock Slide, and do you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to Teutons. It's going to be Teuton, Monk and Siege, or Knight and Siege push. I would say Song Song will be Teutons here, and the other Civ might be Tatars or Malians. Malians would be better for water control, and Tatars could be better for just fast stumbling and maybe even Cav Archers. Imagine if you get to Cav Archers here. Use mobility, raid the eco of GL to death, and use the Teutons to just go for a Pike and Siege / Knight and Siege / Monk and Siege push here. So I can see Tatar's Teutons being the idea over here. Let's see what we have. Gamer Legion should have Portuguese and either Persians, Burgundians. Probably Persians is a slightly better choice as we jump into the next game over here. Welcome everybody to a completely resettable scoreboard, because once again, in the moment that the teams change players, we have to reset their names. So I'm gonna have to type this one in here. Apologies for that. Even Steven scoreline. Get some Nili energies in the chat. I think GL will need it. In case you're cheering for GL, obviously. In case you are cheering for the Vietnamese team, well, wish them luck as well. Is the decider game. The winner goes into the semifinals. What a story it would be to have Vietnam Strategy B getting into the semifinals. We will have on the left side Taro as Portuguese in red and Jordan as Burgundians in yellow. So Nili is going back on the bench. And for Bad Boy, he's going to be playing Tatars in blue and Malians for Song Song in green. No Teutons. That's a surprise to me. Teutons would be so useful on this map. Conversion resistance to your knights is very nice. TC is garrisoning more villagers, or Tower is garrisoning more villagers, is very helpful protecting these gold mines. And we are seeing what we have seen from this team a lot. Moving to the outside for gold and rolling this little area off is what Song Song's plan is. Song Song is going for a stable here, so he's getting some scouts out. Archer opening on the other side from our Portuguese player Taro. Looks like no one is going for docks here. Usually, so far, the meta was docking and just going for galleys for one player. That's not the case over here. That's not the case at all. Defensive tower on the way for Song Song. For Bad Boy, looks like he's just gonna fully wall, go for a couple of archers. And now, Jordan is gonna play dock here with Burgundians. I heard that you must be making Cavalier, but looks like it's not that simple. Anyways, Tower is up here as the scout of Taro is just running around trying to make sure that Spearman can finish off the scout, as Taro shouldn't be able to do much over here against that defensive tower. Meanwhile, looking at the resource for Castle Age, looks like everybody is going to pick up at the same time. Yeah, that mining camp looks a little bit weird. Sometimes Empire Wars generates some weird maps, but well, he can't complain. This is a super efficient gold mine. The villagers don't have to walk at all to drop it off. In exchange, it's very hard to quick wall. That's just something that happens sometimes with Empire Wars scripts. Scouts now in for Song Song. He doesn't really have the tools to kill that Spearman right now, so he's just gonna have to live with it. That patch of berries is actually very exposed to the archers, so that loss of food income will set back Song Song a tiny bit with his Castle Age time. Meanwhile, looking at other players, Castle Age is on the way for Bad Boy. Stonewall is coming in for Tao. Look at this. This is a smart idea. I like it. It basically prevents enemies from running around here and hitting Taro from the back. Limits the opponent's movement quite a bit. Looks like Song Song, he's just big chilling over here. We'll probably do some market usage here to go up. Every single player went for a defensive tower on their own gold mines. So, we're gonna have Jordan with a stable coming in. Gongsun is really thinking about fighting this one, but He doesn't have the scouts for that. So, let's see what else do we have. We have a demo in here from Jordan. He's looking for a demo snipe, but I'm not sure if that's going to be really much worth it. Even if he sinks this force, it's debatable. So, looks like Jordan is just gonna play full demos here with that dock. He's not really making any galleys whatsoever. And for Taro, ooh, I like this. Look at what Taro is doing now with Portuguese. He's going to stonewall this, wall off this area, make docks here. This basically prevents Vietnam to push from this side. This completely prevents them from doing so. Meanwhile, the Spearman is trying to poke down the demo. That's not gonna happen over here. Looks like we're gonna have double stable knights for Song Song. And that's probably triple range cav archers from Bad Boy. So he wants to play CA. Now, CA is nice, but Burgundians could easily flood you with Cavalier here, so you gotta be careful about this one. If you have time to build up those Cav Archer numbers, it's amazing, and you have free tumbling, so it's not like you need to get a huge amount of upgrades. Botkin Arrow just now coming in. Probably Husbandry is the second most important upgrade here that you want to grab. So Taro, look at this little choke point here. This looks like a campaign map, to be honest. The gate to Taro's base. For now, he's just making demos. He will just have them in here. In the moment someone comes this way, he pops out the demo and sinks that army. That's enough for Taro. Second TC coming in for Taro and as well for Nili. Keep in mind that once you chop through this layer of trees and, you know, access the stone, you pretty much have infinite stone, so you can drop castles everywhere. So civilizations with good unique units in late Imperial could actually be very helpful. Cavalier on the way for Jordan. Cav Archers already coming out for Bad Boy. I don't see a stable for him though. So, no bloodlines, no husbandry. Husbandry missing is probably going to be a problem. Whereas for Taro, it looks like he's going to start making caravels. So, we will have Jordan coming in here with the... No, it's not Jordan, it's actually Bad Boy with the Cav Archers. I wasn't muted, I was just looking at something else as well. So, 2 TCs for both players on Gamer Legion. There's gonna be 2 TCs as well for Song Song. 3 TCs for Bad Boy in here. As we do have the Cav Archers now with Tumbling without ballistics in here. Knights from Song Song trying to bash their way in, but they really won't be able to. And with this many caravels here for Taro, there's no way that Vietnam will ever get through this defensive line. It's just impossible. And Jordan is doing the same thing. I love that. They realize that Tatars will need to use their mobility with the Cav Archers, and what they do is just making sure that they can't use that mobility because the only entrance into their base is over here. So, crossbows now out for Taro to push in here, as we will have a third TC coming up as well for Song Song. They will have a slightly better economy here. I just feel like they won't be in the position to push anytime soon. So this could be in for a long game. Some camos out as well for Song Song against the Cavalier. Still no bloodline, or still no ballistics here for Bad Boy. Bloodlines is just now coming in. Do Portuguese and Burgundians have better late game? It's debatable. Burgundians would have the Trash Paladin, but Malians have Farimba Cavalier, so that's pretty even. And Tatar's Cav Archers is probably a better thing in the long run than Portuguese Arbs. So I actually think that Tatar's Malians is better late game, but we might not even go to late game here, because guess what? Taro is coming in with the caravels, and Bad Boy will be forced off from the gold mine in here. So, now Cavalier trying to bash their way into Bad Boy's base. Bad Boy is gonna have to be careful here, and he's not really walling behind, I don't like that. Now rushing up at EC, this would just allow the Cavalier to flood into his base and tear his eco apart. Forward Siege Workshop from Song Song over here, trying to contest this left side, but that doesn't really work out right now from him. And, well, the Cavalier are now in. I wonder if this was an intentional trap, though, because it kind of felt like it. Bad Boy didn't really bother walling behind, so it's suspicious that maybe he wanted to trap that army in there. He's going to lose his blacksmith, though, which is definitely a nuisance, as Siege Workshop is now coming in. Looking at the ecos, that's that even slight advantage here for the Vietnamese team for the time being. So, we'll have Song Song coming in here with a couple of camos inside those stables. Not much, though, as he's preparing a Mangonel push. I like that he's waiting a little bit with the Mangonels, because this guarantees that Taro doesn't have an easy response to them, and 3 Mangonels would steamroll this one very easily. Stable on the left side coming in for Song Song. So, let's see what we have. Cavaliers are in increasing numbers here on the right side, and Bad Boy's Cav Archer numbers aren't really impressing me. Now they have Ballistics, but only 14 Cav Archers. Not super duper impressive at this point. Double Mangonels now coming in, trying to bash their way through that market. That's not the weak spot of the wall. The weak spot is the house. Guard Tower defense for Taro coming in, and he will probably play Arbalest as well. No one close to Imperial just yet, as now a couple of crossbows from Taro are also harassing the eco of Bad Boy here. I'm not exactly sure what Vietnam is doing here, but it looks like they have a couple of Cav Archers that managed to get through these defenses, trying to get some raiding damage done, but they will get surrounded by Cavalier and taken down. So that is all the Cav Archers that we had over there. On the other hand, now Taro is facing a bigger push here. The guard tower is up, but there is an opening here now that the knights could use to just run inside and start causing damage. Cav Archers cleaning up the crossbows here on the right side. Caravels are still denying the departure from Song Song's base to the outside, as we now have 4 camos moving in. A battering ram could be helpful here for Song Song, and indeed he decides to go for that defensive pikeman on the way for Taro. He's also going for War Galley, which makes me believe that he wants demo ships, not just demo rafts. Otherwise, I don't see the reason I'm behind that one. So, as things stand, we are gonna have this Gold Mine Denied here from Bad Boy. Does Bad Boy have save gold? He does, that's alright. First to Imperial will be Jordan, and we're gonna have Imperial Age coming in as well for Song Song. Cavalier coming in here, sniping the Mangonel. That was a beautiful move here from Gamer Legion, and once again, the Vietnamese team want to be aggressive, but they can't really do that. So that is actually a problem that they're facing. Arbalest on the way for Taro soon, as he has clicked up to Imperial, whereas we have 4 DCs here for Jordan, going for a full boom. He is probably gonna play Paladin here, as he's adding more stables. Cav Archers are nice and everything, but you don't really need mobility. You need brute force power, as Taro's gonna go for a castle here. Meanwhile, army numbers double for Gamer Legion, And I kind of feel like these ships are starting to matter here, because guess what? They're breaching these walls, and now the Cavaliers could just flood into Song Song's base. Where is Song Song's army at? It's over here. They'll have to get through all those caravels, all those crossbows over here, as the house walls are coming up behind this one. So, we're gonna have the walls up, that's fine for the time being, but you still can't stop Cavalier and Crossbowmen at the same time. Meanwhile, Cav Archers are moving in. They will intercept a couple of villagers here making the stables, which will make life harder for Jordan. Jordan immediately clicking Paladin here as the first player to Imperial. So, we're gonna have a defensive castle here for Bad Boy. He's gonna have the hill here, which helps quite a bit. And now Heavy Camel is being teched into by Song Song. But is that enough? Is it in time? It's doubtful. Because the thing is that Heavy Camel is nice and everything, but it won't stop Arbalest and Paladin. You need Cavalier here with Farimba. Demos are now coming out for Taro, and those demos would prevent the Camels from moving in as well. Song Song is already losing a lot of eco here. I just feel like they couldn't play their aggressive playstyle on this map, and it's really showing. And when it comes to these slower paced games, I mean, Bad Boy and Song Song feel very much lost. So they really don't seem to have a good grasp of these super long late game scenarios. Look at that. Arbs are just picking apart those Camels. The Camels will come in here, trying to take this fight. But at this point, this is all fine for Gamer Legion. They're the ones initiating the fights, and the Cavaliers will start raiding. When you play Cav Archers, you have to keep your Cav Archers all together, whereas with the Paladins, you can just run around and raid. An insane amount of gold is present on the outside, so you can just flood those Paladin until eternity. Docks are coming up here for fire ships for Bad Boy. They want to reclaim the seas, as that castle is not going up. Third enormous doubt castle for Song Song in this series so far. And this is what I was referring to. Paladins will just run past it, and you have to send all your Cav Archers to chase. Jordan moves in with more Paladins, and they will just pick apart the eco of Bad Boy and Song Song. On the left side, look at this. Song Song has to make his camos here on the left side, and they will just get instantly picked off by the Arbs. Might as well delete those stables, because they hurt more than what they help. And, well, villagers going down here from Vietnam. I really feel like aggressive games favor them in this set, but these slow-paced ones were horrendous, and this is why losing Atacama hurts so badly. Imagine if they... like, it's hard to say what civ they could have picked differently there, but the Atacama game is what's gonna hurt them really badly, because that's a map where their playstyle is definitely applicable, but Gamer Legion was able to win that, and now I kind of feel like Vietnam is falling apart. 217 villagers over here only, and I just see flashing green town centers everywhere. Look at this, Paladins running in. Jordan has 40 Paladins, Taro is stacking into Elite Caravel here now, and there is no escape from this place here for Bad Boy. If the Paladins just run in, they can pick this apart. The Tataris really rely on mobility here with their Cav Archers, and they couldn't use that. Very nice game plan from GL to wall off these sides and then control the passage with demos and a couple of caravels, because that prevented the Cav Archers from breaking in. And while Vietnam's strategy B was close to pulling an upset over here, it was just a little too far out of their grasp. They won the Arabia game, they won Cape of Storms, but they couldn't secure Atacama, their other home map, and that's what allowed Gamer Legion to swing this one back. On the closed maps, like Hidden Treasures and Rockslide, Gamer Legion proved to be much, much stronger. On the open maps, it was a very, very open contest. And with that, Gamer Legion A moves into the semifinals tomorrow. Massive win there for him, and massive win there for them overall. Nili, Jordan, and Taro all played role in this victory. They had their down moments as well, but I kind of feel like the key thing at the end was that in the maps, where Bad Boy and Song Song wanted to be the best, their own home maps. It was a relatively even fight. So that was Cape of Storms that ended up being won by Vietnam Strategy B, and Atacama, which ended up being won by Game Legion. But on the maps that Taro and his team selected, Game Legion was just much, much better. So the Hidden Treasures game, that was a complete blunder from Bad Boy and Song Song. And this one, it was fairly obvious that Jordan and Taro were just much stronger. They came in with a better strategy here, and with that, they are able to secure a victory. Still, shout out to Bad Boy and Song Song, because they are the team that lasted the longest from the ones qualifying, almost getting into the semifinals, but just falling a little too short. Still, no shame losing to one of the strongest teams of Age of Empires. Losing to Gamer Legion is nothing that you have to be ashamed of. Bad Boy and Song Song had a great run in the tournament, and I'm pretty sure that they're happy with their performance. They just fell a little too short of winning this one right now.